MMDT 1041 Class Exercise Visual Web Content. The objectives for this week's lesson are to create content for the web, which includes creating slices, specifying slice types, saving images for the web, creating an image map, and exporting Illustrator graphics for the web. So the objectives for this specific class exercise start to combine some objectives from past lessons. Things such as creating basic shapes, potentially creating type, manipulating color, transforming objects, demonstrating the use of layers professionally, utilize filters and effects if this applies, and then use the Save for Web dialog box and export your Illustrator graphics for the web. Your task: create a visual web content for the company Orange Tree Meadow. The use of illustration in web design is an excellent way to add a theme or overall visual aesthetic to a website. You are going to create a background illustration for this company, the Orange Tree Meadows website. Flat design, this is a current trend in web design, and flat design is clean, it's minimalistic. Illustrator is a great tool to produce flat design. It's an ideal environment for drawing shapes and experimenting with colors and web fonts. Vector graphics, which are what we get when we work in Illustrator, are necessary components for both targeting high-density screens and the ability to do some scaling in a non-destructive way. Illustrator is the application to quickly draw vector graphics. And from Illustrator, we can output to SVG, which is super easy and produces a really nice vector graphic. So the application of this visual web content. Know that nearly 2/3 of social media is made up of images. The visual content that you could potentially place then in Twitter, it could be posted on Facebook, it could be in LinkedIn, or any other of our social media platforms today. One tip as you work through this exercise: many of you subscribe to the Creative Cloud. You have a subscription to the Adobe Creative Cloud, so you are a cloud member. Your membership includes the Typekit, which I know many of you have used. Some of you might want to explore it. It provides access to more than 900 professional web fonts that's hosted by Typekit. So you can easily install these Typekit fonts locally on your machine, and then once you have synced to your desktop, you can use Typekit fonts in Illustrator as part of a web-safe workflow. So the assignment with this class exercise: you're creating visual web content for the company Orange Tree Meadow. At a minimum, your illustration must be constructed utilizing the following tools or techniques in Adobe Illustrator. So you're going to have to play around with this. Now, I'm not as concerned with one final product as I am the ability that you can show me you know how to slice a graphic and export a graphic for the web. So you may have to break this into some different components. So I want you to show me that you know how to create slices, basically creating those pieces that then get put back together when you put this on a website. So I also want you to specify slice types. So if you're creating an interface, say, for this website of Orange Tree Meadow, you may want to slice up that background image. Some of the slices will just be maybe white or black, and in that case you can have that specific type of no content for those slices. So play with that. The goal here is to see how small you can make your file, and then you're going to save for the web. So after listening to the lecture, make sure you understand how you can save files that are web ready. And then, of course, exporting your Illustrator graphic for the web. So you're saving for the web, exporting the graphic for the web, kind of very similar there. There are a couple sources here related to creating illustrations in websites, so you may want to check that out. So you're going to submit an Illustrator file in the Dropbox, as well as post a Web Ready file in Discussions Week 13 Visual Web Content. Utilize the Save for Web compression options in Illustrator to see how small you can make your file.